This is our driving review of the Mercedes GLE Coupe and also as a special version, the Mercedes AMG GLE53 Coupe. Please subscribe to us if you haven't done so far, and warm greetings to our long-term subscribers here from freezing but beautiful Austria at 2,000 meters or 6,500 feet height. And here, the Mercedes GLE as Coupe, especially at the 53 AMG. Let's take a look at the front grille, because when you think about a GLE SUV, the top part of the front grille is a little bit wider. We also see it in our overlay picture of the GLE SUV front grille, whereas the GLE Coupe or Coupe, we always say Coupe because we lean to the French original pronunciation. There's also a separate video about that. Then here, the lower part is a little bit wider to make it look more aggressive. And also, there are different front grills available, a standard one. Then there's an AMG line. We also have vehicles of those on location. My favorite front grille with this diamond pin grille. And then here, the 53 AMG has those very massive vertical fins, which make it even look more aggressive with the AMG badge as well. We also have a white car here on location for the 53 AMG and also a selenite grey one, but definitely our brilliant blue GLE53 looks best here as contrast to the white snow. And the length here for this generation is 4.94 meters, 16'2" or 194 inches. That's about 4 centimeters longer than the predecessor, or 2 centimeters in wheelbase longer than the predecessor. But, however, and that's interesting, the wheelbase here of the GLE Coupe is 6 centimeters or 2.5 inches shorter than the one of the GLE SUV. BMW doesn't do that differentiation between the X5 and the X6. Mercedes actually affords to have this differentiation then, because they say they want to make the Coupe a little bit sportier as for the driving feeling. We'll soon find out if that's the case. Yeah, of course, as we have the AMG 53 today, it will of course be the case somewhat, just to tell you that in advance. Wheels come actually in the GLE Coupe from 19 to 22 inch. The 53 AMG always features 20 inch, and optional we got here 21 inch. Yeah, still somewhat of a compromise. I think 20 inch might be the best compromise between visual and also the comfort still. Here with winter tires, it looks a little bit smaller. With summer tires, those wheels would be looking even bigger. The rear of these SUV coupes is always splitting opinions. Some love it, some hate it. What about you? Please tell me your opinion in the comments right there. Definitely in this new generation, here because of those horizontally drawn tail lamps, also with a new LED signature, it looks a little bit more elegant. Then we have this integrated spoiler wing right there, AMG badge for the 53 model. And you can see those are beauty tips just on the outside, and they are very beautiful fake exhaust, yes, but again, the real exhaust is on the inside. So what do we have here under the hood? A 3-liter 6-cylinder with 435 horsepower, acceleration figure 5.3 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour, and of course a standard classic all-wheel drive with a rear wheel bias, and then of course a little bit adaptive. this is the car key, slim and light, also with the AMG badge here, of course, in this case, and a matte black finish. Yeah, quite fancy. I like that. Keyless entry. It's like when you put your hand on the outside right there to shut it, and then on the inside to open it again. Door closing sound. That sounds solid. Really cool. Do we also have soft close here? No, it's not in it, but I prefer a better closing sound. Soft close, of course, always an option. Then inside of the doors with the Artico leatherette cover, pretty high class. Then we have a carbon fiber inlet here for a sporty look. Burmester sound system with a really good sound indeed. Here seat heating, seat cooling, and also the gentleman's function. When you press this one, then everything you do here is for the other seat. When you want your boyfriend or your girlfriend, depending on who's driving, to have, like, the seat heating. It's not powered at the moment, but it's a pretty cool function, definitely. And reasonable door pockets right there. Then we have AMG entry badges and AMG floor mats here in the 53 version. Next to, with winter tires, please only drive 240 kilometers. Yeah, seriously. I would remove it anyway because it destroys this nice carbon fiber once again. Then soon more to the screens and so on. We have the AMG Steering Wheel, which comes with a flat bottom and some nice microfiber Dynamica on the side to have a better grip. The Distronic here in this new generation adaptive cruise control goes to the steering wheel. It's a little bit easier than for the left thumb button, for the right thumb as well on the other side to control the screens. Seats always come with sport seats in a GLE Coupe, and would be standard a full Artico sustainable leatherette cover. In the AMG 53 or then also in AMG lines, you get inside then usually with Dynamica microfiber like we see here, but for the whole inner seating area, and outside Artico leatherette. Again, Mercedes offers a wide variety of animal-friendly choices, also for the Coupe and also for the sports version. Just in this case, it's the full animal skin pack with some Alcantara. So let's get inside right here. It's a fairly easy entry. Of course, the AMG sits a little bit lower as for suspension and so on, but it's still decently comfortable. There's no panoramic roof in this car here, this very car, but you can actually get one. Then there's headroom check, still some left with 1.86 m or 6'1". And it's a really upright, comfortable seating position. Here the GLE Coupe has a flatter A-pillar, so you have a little bit less room. Yeah, with the GLE SUV you would have a more open feeling then, but still at a good level. Now the interior, and let's start with a fancy thing. Here the integration of the ambient light is one of the coolest here in the GLE and the GLE Coupe, and of course you can also change the colors. And it's not only right there, also other parts of the interior, inside of the doors, and also, Jonas shows you that right there. Inside of the doors, for example, at the co-driver side. That looks pretty cool. We can also change some more colors, and also at those handles, in the lower middle console, we can show that later. So pretty cool, but I stick definitely with one of the blue tones. The general overview is here with the big air vents. That's the same GLE Coupe and the GLE SUV. Overall the same, and 12.3-inch standard, 2 times for those screens, horizontal layout. Yes, the steering wheel is blocking something of that, depending on the position. Then again, the controls here, home screen and then right thumb to control the screen, but also with touch or with the lower trackpad. That's possible, so redundant controls. On the left side then you can control those digital instruments, soon more details to those. And again, those gauges for the performance ones here, with the driving modes, also from this perspective. Digital instruments, this one is the AMG Super Sport view with revs on the right side, for example. Jonas can rev it up if he likes. Yeah, way to go, brum brum. So you can have this view, but you can always change what you want to see exactly. For example, what you want to see in the middle part, what you want to see on the right part. You can, for example, also have then a GPS input right here. See, like this. So this would be possible. Or a view how the driving details are changing depending also on the drive mode you pick. Then you can see here how that one changes. But you can also change the whole view of the system. So this would be Super Sport, but you can also get just to Sport. If you're not super sporty, but just sporty, for example, then put a little bit more classic. Then you can pick again what you want to see in the middle and also on the right gauge. Does it look like it's pretty cold here? It actually is. So let's make ourselves comfortable in the rear. First of all, you also have a nice article leatherette cover at the inside of the doors, also with the carbon fiber shoe tab, not to bring this snow in there. And the cool thing is, in this new generation of the GLE Coupe, you have more legroom. This is the seat as I would be driving. You see, you still have plenty of legroom. So, because the wheelbase has been increased, if you compare it predecessor GLE Coupe to this one here, but then if you compare GLE SUV now to GLE Coupe now, as we are in here, you have a little bit less wheelbase again, SUV Coupe comparison, but still, you see, this is actually still totally decent. So for 4 tall adults, it's no problem at all. Headroom-wise, this also works. I mean, it's of course just like this, like a hand over my head when I lean my head backwards. It still works, so there's hardly any big compromise. Of course, the SUV then offers more headroom. And there's one thing they changed here. The seat bench is a little bit lower, so it falls even more backwards. And it's still very comfortable here, yes, but that's like at the cost of comfort. That's what you pay for that, you know. So it goes back like this. So you are sitting more comfortably in the SUV in the rear. It's the same also BMW X5 versus X6. That's also more comfortable in the rear than in the X5. So yeah, at some point they wanted to keep the headroom, and so they had this decision then. So what about the luggage compartment? Is there any big compromise here? Let's find out. You can also have this foot kick opening mechanism like this. There was the proof. And then the only thing I'm not really, happy with, this top cover. I mean, it's a solution here for the SUV coupes, but still, don't like this solution somehow. I'm not sure if there's any better solution for that. So, and then here, actually quite wide dimensions. You are limited here then in the back part with the height. It would be continuing with the SUV like this. But below the cover, it's actually not a problem. You can see here, easy fitting, so much luggage in here, and I can also remove that for you piece by piece. Don't even have to play any Tetris. So here we go, and this is then a clear view of what we have available in the GLE Coupe. You can use it for everyday driving. The liter figures would be in comparison 825 for the SUV and 655 for the Coupe, and the maximum liter figures 2055 for the SUV and 1790 for the Coupe. So you lose about 200 to 300 liters each, but again, you can get along with that. Well guys, let's start with some sporty driving. Whoa, that was 0 to 90 kilometers an hour. Pretty powerful, and there you can see already what this AMG beast is capable of, and we don't need a V8 for that. So sports mode here, the exhaust note is also tuned up, and wow, pretty beautiful tunnel in here, so very scenic road also for you guys. Wow, hard on the gas. We have to be a little bit careful, definitely. I go back to the sports, but not sports plus. So we still have some ESC left, so you shouldn't exaggerate that also when the road is a little bit wet like it is at the moment. But definitely you feel the pure sportiness of this vehicle. First of all, that the Coupe is a little bit sportier than the SUV. Feels like, a smaller vehicle, definitely. And then of course this AMG setup we have here, this not only changes the power, that would be one thing. We have driven the base engine of this one before, definitely beastier in the engine performance, but also as for the other setup, the air suspension is really laid out very stiff, and also the front axle, this is an important point for the steering precision. So they have a different front axle here on the 53 AMG version, and so it is for once a little bit stiffer than from the front again, but also a little bit more precise as for the steering, so the more direct input is guaranteed. And this is again a thing of, you want a sportier, then go for this one. You want more comfort, then maybe go for the most powerful non-AMG version, but you can pick that for yourself, and feel here that the input is really, really
precise seat here. It's a slalom-like effect as you would have maybe with a sports car also. That's pretty cool. And from 50 kilometers, blop, and that's 100. So you already heard that the car was shifting back first, so it's not about the turbo lag, it's more about the shifting lag, so to say. How can you not have that? Well, use the shifting pedals on your own. Oh wow, great ambient lighting here also in the tunnel. So shifting pedals here, very crisp. You even hear them clicking. And then you can shift back yourself first and then immediately accelerate. And of course, it's a little bit more fun to use the shifting pedals on your own. And you can also induce a little bit more of that sound. Here we go. Blop. Also, when you're shifting up, you can hear a little bit better in the tunnel. Of course, noise insulation isn't that well done that you don't hear so much then. That's the thing then also with modern cars. So they're so well insulated that that's also the reason why they do those artificial sounds on interiors, that you can still hear actually what's going on, because everything is so well insulated for soundproof reasons, like wind noise and so on. And that's actually also a good thing, definitely.
And now to our conclusion for today with the Mercedes GLE Coupe, and of course the special focus here on the GLE53 AMG, also as Coupe. Well, first of all, to the difference GLE SUV and GLE Coupe. Of course, it's the design, this falling roofline. Then we have the little bit shorter wheelbase, which makes this one here in the driving experience a little bit more agile. Still, you have plenty of legroom in the rear, and also headroom is okay. A little bit less comfortable on the rear bench than in the SUV, and of course limited in height than in the trunk. However, still very well usable. And of course, the difference when you take a GLE SUV and then to the GLE Coupe as a 53 version, it's even bigger, because here in the AMG 53 is of course even sportier, especially from suspension. You have to know that you will lose comfort with this very stiff air suspension they put in here. So if you want this comfortable air carpet ride, then you should not go for the 53 AMG model, but rather for one of the non-AMG models. And always take a look at the wheel size. So when you go a little bit smaller, then you also have a little bit more comfort. Then you can actually vary if you want it sportier or if you want it more comfortable. Overall, a very convincing ride. As for the sportiness, especially here with the anti-roll control they have in the AMG model, it does not roll at all. It does not really drive like a big SUV. It rather drives a little bit sports car-like as far as the overall weight goes, of course. So a very, very convincing, agile driving part we had here, especially in this very model. What engines are there to look out for as well? Of course, the plug-in hybrid variants. I'm really looking forward to the petrol PHEV. That one will probably be both for the GLE SUV and the Coupe, one of the engines to go for. So we will also keep you updated with those. Now looking forward to your feedback in general. Would you pick the SUV GLE or the Coupe? And would you go here for the AMG or for one of the other ones? Please leave out the comments, and also let's discuss this car even further. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed both the vehicle and also the landscape here, and see you next time.